Hi everybody, this is Shamrondi, and I'm coming to you from Life Design Topics. And I thought I wasn't going to touch upon this subject just yet because there's many ways to dissect it. I was going to dissect it in the different categories of choices that we make as women, and then how do we handle the challenges that come with it. Many ways, right? But all in all, the topic really is about cheating. That's what it's about. So I'm going to try to make as abbreviated a version as possible because this is really deep. I'm going to leave the depth of it for those that want coaching from me, because I'm terribly passionate about the emotional needs of women, and I don't like when I feel emotional for women I don't even know. I don't know, but I have an idea. I know what the feeling is like, right? And I do want to be able to share with people, like, how do they move past that? How do they work on taking care of themselves? How do they feel better about themselves? For them to just realize the actual facts of everything and not get caught up only in the emotion of it. Because the emotion does nothing. I mean, it does something because it happens to us, and it's really a reminder for us to reflect and to honor that feeling. But it's like, what do you do with it at that point? You can't take it to the bank. You can't cash it. It's not a check, right? It's like jealousy. You can't do anything with jealousy. I remember trying to date, right? I myself, my relationship status is I'm a divorced mom of two boys. And my relationship was fine. My relationship itself was fine. It was a lot of things that happened in the family, on my in-laws side, and it was a series of things and traumas that we experienced as a family. But the good thing about it is that we still operate as a family. Now, when I say we still operate as a family, I'm not in any open relationships or anything like that. I'm not in a polyamorous relationship. I'm not against polyamorous relationships. I'm not against polygamy, okay? So let me just put that out there, because I know some people are very judgmental and they will automatically not take advice or something that can bless them because they do not like the source of where it's coming from, or the idealisms of the person of where it's coming from. Now, one thing that I am definitely good at, that I could beat my chest for, a West Indian term, is that I am great at giving unbiased advice based on your situation. So today I came across a sister friend, and her communication, right, because we communicate in two ways, is her communication was basically crying out for help. This is what's happening to me. What should I do? Okay. Yesterday I made a video, and I had posted it. I had put it in queue for it to post, and I love the video. The video, I felt, was like so reflective of something else that I've seen, and it was a conversation that was had on a reality television show. And it was the mom talking with her daughters, and she basically said that, basically, to sum it up, and it doesn't sound good, okay, let me preface that, was basically like, let your man cheat in peace. Now, people are so against all of that. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear about polyamory. They don't want to hear about your man eventually. They don't want to hear those things, right? And what I need women to understand is none of that shit has to do with you. That's really what I want you to understand, okay? We were not there at the inception of the men in our lives. We were not there at the start of the relationship of his parents. We were not there for his birth story. We do not even know his true birth order, okay? You think none of that stuff has to do with it, and it has everything to do with it, okay? You were not there to physically witness the different traumas he could have experienced before the age of 8. we are all souls on this earth. That it is naturally the need of our human person to want to feel good. Is the natural part of it. Men cheat for many reasons, okay? Cheat, if you think that word applies to you. Because my coaching is to get women to not even, for them to realize it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. But men step out of the realm of monogamy in relationships because somebody else went and made a bond for them that at some point they realize, I can't keep up with this. This isn't serving me right now. I had a conversation with an old acquaintance the other evening, and I was telling her that, what women fail to realize, because I'm a West Indian woman, right? But beyond being a West Indian woman, the people that I come from, they come from a region where we live in villages, right? There's a whole video about that. Don't date like a village girl, okay? We come from villages, and villages usually are settlements of a tight-knit group of families. So usually families know each other, even if they don't talk on a daily or weekly basis, but they know each other. They know the head of they know the patriarch or the matriarch of that family. And it can be used for reference down the road, right? So there's always a sense of accountability. So So I was having this conversation with her, and I was telling her, I says, what women forget that she and I know is that men, the way that they're engineered, because she's a mom, she's a boy mom just like me. I'm a boy mom. I only have boys. I don't have daughters, right? And what you realize is that the needs of boys are much different than girls, right? And we know how to work for ourselves, right? But what we're not realizing is that men never really truly lose the true essence of how they care, what their self-care is, or what it looks like, or how they should feel. They never really lose sight of that. And the reason they never really lose sight of that is because they never have to deal with the emotional triggerings that happen inside, the chemical triggerings that happen inside with your biological clock. They never carry a baby in vitro, okay? They never go through pregnancy, okay? They never go through the doctor-patient relationship of being a woman and going through a pregnancy and the responsibility of it. They never deliver a baby, okay? They never skin open their foot and make a baby. They don't do that, okay? I try not to keep too much creolese out of it. They don't do that. They do not deliver a baby. They do not breastfeed a baby, okay? Think about all of those steps. They don't have to deal with postpartum of having a baby. So because they never really they don't go through that season. They go through the season of being a helper, right? When a human comes, and then how much they feel connected to the addition to the family, depending on how needy of a man they were from the very beginning, right? And how accountable they are. Like there's many things that contribute to it. So because men are not wired that way, they are true to self at all costs. At all costs. At all costs. If that means that I go out, I'm the guy, right? If that means I go out and this lady makes me feel like a man because, I'm having all kind of challenges and I'm faced with all kind of things that I'm not prepared to face with, or the poor mentality, or I'm a wealthy man and, and I have accessibility to whatever it is I want. I'm just so entitled to whatever the case may be, okay? When men move through the world like that, you have to realize that it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. Okay? You may have, participated in the conversations that caused, temporary discomfort or a stress that they're dealing with, like you may be a participant in it, but the action and the choice that they make to go and share themselves with someone else, it has nothing to do with you. In the case where we're talking about polyamory and polygamy and multiple households and things like that, that is a man having another connection that he feels that he's fully capable of having without it necessarily destroying something that he thinks is already, sure and tight and strong. Right? And this is why we have to take our time and get to know the man, get to know what kind of animal we actually have, right? It's very important. It's such a disservice. And you know what saddens me is when I see women say, no, I can't go and cheat too. I'm not going to do that. Okay. But fussing and fighting with him every day about it and having an attitude with him, that is not going to bring him back. That is not going to cause any harmony in your house. That's only going to continue to bring strife. Right? I'm old enough to see how some of these relationships have panned out. I know actual couples. I know families. I know children of families where at one point of their marriage, the husband and the wife both had outside relationships happening. And you know what happened? They're still together. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear the truth, But it's the reality of it. And keep in mind, I'm not here to just be making people feel good. I know I'm a human bundle of sunshine, okay? I'm here for it. But I want you to get to that point where you could be a human bundle of sunshine and know that somebody's behavior is not contingent on your self-worth, right? It's a feeling of God, disrespect. How could he do that? He doesn't know how it's making me feel. You need to stop seeing her. No, you guys want to be lied to. No, you guys want to be lied to. The actual verbatim copy or script I will give you on how to have those conversations, you and I have to be in a coaching situation before I come and give you those goodies and jewels, right? But the bigger part of it is you have to really get to the place where you are clear that it has nothing to do with you, right? Now, yes, disease is real, AIDS is real, hepatitis is real, herpes is real. That's a conversation you can have, but you can have that conversation in love. I want you guys to communicate in love, If you haven't totally burned a bridge completely down and you can actually have a conversation with him that he is okay with having, start out and continue. Remind yourself that you need to communicate in love, okay? And you need to let him know, babe, acknowledge you. I won't lie that I feel disrespected. I won't lie that I feel hurt. I won't lie that I feel betrayed. And I don't want you to be in a place where you're lying to me, okay? But I don't even want to talk about what it is that you're doing out there. Here is where I need the boundaries to be. Because, especially ladies, if you're not trying to leave and go anywhere, all right? If you're not trying to leave your husband, you're going to have to ride the wave, sis. Right? But you got to ride the wave healthily. You got to ride it in a healthy way. That's what's important. But you need to just let him know, I need you to be aware that, I care about my health. I care about your health. And I hope that you always consider that you must be respectful and cognizant of your health. Right? Don't let your health be the second thing. Don't be irresponsible when it comes to your health. Okay? Right? You're going to have that conversation if that's what's sticking out in your mind, right? If you feel like he is completely reckless, you got to know the animal you have, ladies. You must, because then you're going to know how deep you're supposed to probe with that. Now, based on what you tell me in a coaching situation, then I'm going to be able to guide you on how much pressure you can apply on that button, okay? And what you can say in the scripting and all of that, right? But I need everybody to understand that cheating has nothing to do with the person that is being cheated on, all right? Here's this other piece. If this person you feel is cheating out of retaliation, they're communicating clearly not in love. They're crying for help. And their cry for help can come from a place of immaturity. All right? And if love is not being served at the table, like the good old Nina Simone quote, then you need to back up off of it. If you can allow it and you can give yourself space, give yourself space. Don't give him free range to come and go when it comes to your body. Don't do that, right? But do communicate in love if you're trying to stay. Okay? If you know, like, okay, this is the shit that's gonna hit the fan and I'm out, fuck them, then be out, sis. Don't let the whole goddamn neighborhood know that you and your man is having a big row and all of that. No. You know what the part that I know burns a lot of women, this is the thing, right? And you don't gotta admit it to me. And it's okay. It's all right. I'm here for you. You don't gotta admit it to me or admit it in this post. But the thing that burns a lot of women is, you know, you've completely let your shit go. So here you are, not at your best self or a self that you're confident in. And you're like, who else is going to want this hot mess? Because you called yourself a hot mess. I don't care how big you are. You're supposed to know that you is the biggest and best in the room, honey. Okay. You're supposed to know that. And if you don't know that, you got to get back to that. You see that? That's some healing that needs to happen. This shit has nothing to do with him. Has nothing to do with him when it comes to you. It's only about you. I just want you to really only be focused on you. Be selfish about it. Okay? If you guys have customary practices that are part of your everyday way of life, like you get up in the morning and you make breakfast for him, based on your situation, but for the most part, and you take joy in it, continue with that, right? You don't have to share your body with him, but you could speak in love. You can, right? And then the reminder, the easiest part of all of it is being a parent. I promise you. Because that should be your focus. Like my focus is, I want my children to feel as adjusted and well, for them to have a sense of well-being. That is my focus. My emotional needs of my ego is not important when it comes to the well-being of my children. Because that's ego. Yeah, you don't want to hear that, but that's what it is. It's ego. Right? Men, they channel their ego different, right? Ego is what makes them even be domineering. Ego is what makes them even want to be selfish. Ego is what makes them even want to have, have jealousy and stuff like that, and puts full ownership on your time and everything like that. That's ego that does that. If it's outside of that, that's a whole nother conversation that we don't need to have right now here, okay? Because I want you guys to make it all the way to this video. I need you to know that it has nothing to do with you. Quickly, what I think, what I'm going to recommend is that you could start today. You're going to need to start doing some mirror work immediately. Immediately. Next time you go to the toilet, next time you go to the latrine, and you see yourself in the mirror, you tell yourself something nice. Girl, your skin look good today, huh? Girl, you look great. Thank God you don't look like what you're going through, right? You did a good job on your eyebrows today. Like whatever, I don't care what. You always speak nicely to yourself, especially when you're a mom, right? You're a superhuman and you're over here degrading yourself for someone who doesn't even have as much talent in their fingertip They don't have as much talent in their whole life and existence as you have in your fingertip, right? You know there's a magical power in being a mom. You can just look at your child and see that something is wrong with him, and you're already thinking about how can you fix it. You have that skill, sis. You got to kind of like take catalog of what are my strong points? What am I good at? I'm a great friend. I'm a great daughter. I'm loving. I'm communicative. I'm a great mom. I have a great posture. I don't care. I cook great. I'm a fantastic cook. I give good head. I don't know, right? This message ain't just for the, even the old ladies. They was all doing something when they was younger. Y'all, don't think even that you cannot even create like a supportive ecosystem for yourself because even older women, they had a life, right? Some of us, our grandmamas, honey, all their kids got different fathers. Okay. All right. And they made it. They made it. So that's where I'm going to direct you. Definitely talk to an older person. Take the information with a grain of salt, because keep in mind that they come from a time that doesn't exist anymore, right? But what you can take from it and what is universal is the internal human strength, okay? And then the personal discipline and then the care that they took of themselves. That's universal. That is not going to change from time to time and season to season in this life to the next. It's not going to change, all right? So whatever he's doing, if it is coming from a place of disrespect and not from his need or him trying to meet the needs of a family whole, because now you're talking something different, and I don't want to have that conversation in this conversation where we start talking about polyamory and polygamy and multi-families and multi-households and those that are of certain religious sects and things like that. That is religion, okay? Under the guise of religion or under the basis of religion, okay? And I respect them all. Trust me, I do, right? I feel like there's room for everybody. There's room for everyone and everyone's needs. But right now, I need you to realize that your spouse cheating on you is not something for you to beat yourself up over. This is the time to look at yourself and be like, man, listen, I need to make sure I pluck this eyebrow. You know what I mean? Like, get into you, honey. Get into you. Some of y'all need to start waist training so you can feel confident when you get dressed and your clothes are fitting you a certain way. Waist training, incorporate, start disincorporating as much meat into your diet. Like, start drinking more water. You start finding all those little ticks and tweaks and things that you need to do, right? And participating in a lot of feminine activities, because remember, this is coming from a masculine point, and you want to make sure that as much as you can encourage the nurturing and to mother yourself, that you are participating in a lot of female driven activities. Now, if you work, the 4 jobs and stuff like that, man, listen, you need counseling. You need counseling, because you have to make what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're putting the right value on every task that you're doing when it comes to your family. And you need to make sure that there's reciprocity, right? And you got to make sure, like, okay, if this is what I'm doing for my children, then do I need that? You're going to have to come to the realization that there are some hard questions that you're going to have to ask yourself. And if you have to leave your relationship, the hardest part is making the decision to leave. That's the hardest part. That's the part a lot of women, they don't even want to do it. They're like, oh, I feel so conflicted. Why are you conflicted, sis? If he's already mentally checked out karmically out of that relationship and started a whole new karmic connection with someone else, he is making love to another woman that he in turn is sharing a bond with. Listen, that may be what he needs at the time. And if you're not here for it, I need you to leave. Stay blessed.